Welcome back to After School Shenanigans, the podcast where we talk about all the things we experience in our after school program. I'm Jesse Vasquez. You can find me on Instagram under JM_Vasquez, where I post about the books I'm reading as well as my current projects. As usual, I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend.
It's me, Desmond Reeves, and you can find me on Instagram on Kuman Marietta Northeast. And let's get going.
All right, so this week we'll be talking about taking breaks versus staying committed to the program.
Yeah, so this started, to give you context, we're coming up on summer. So we have a lot of families wanting to take breaks over the summer. And for us, it's frustrating. It's twofold, right? Okay, so many examples, right? So we have parents that want to take summer off to give their kids a break, which I don't understand because they're in school 10 months out of the year. So why not? They're getting a break from school anyway. So what we do here is only taking an hour a day. That's nothing compared to that, right? But then you have the other side of it where parents that gave their kids a break, not giving kids a break, took the kids out of what we do here for the school year are not coming back in the summer. They're just like, and then to your example you talked about earlier, you have parents that are saying, go ahead and take the example.
Well, yeah, so I had a parent call me, basically want to sign the child back up. And the big thing was we talked about the progress loss. Because he said, basically, yeah, things went well. He responded well to it. We did our break. But now I can't help but wonder if, maybe my kid could have been reading by now, or my kid could have been doing addition by now. And I told him flat out, like, as politely as I could, yeah, he really might have been. Like, that really might have been, like, a mistake.
Yeah, so we had one that started 2 days ago, right?
Yeah.
They took him out, and then he starts below of where he left, right? I don't understand the mindset of, like, it's almost like quitting, right?
Yeah.
It's always like, I want to say earlier, it's like, I don't want to be that get off my lawn old man, but back in my day, you had to do stuff in the summer. You're in school 10 months out of the year. Now school's over. You just don't get to just go relax and not do anything. That's not how this works.
No.
Like, and what we do here does not take up that much time. So I'm confused. Why would you want to waste the effort your kids have put in so far? Talk about giving them a break. I'm doing quotation mark, but like giving a break for what purpose? Break from what?
Not only that, but I think there's a good analogy here. It's like how we talk about going to the gym, right? You start and then you leave immediately. You're not going to lose any weight. You're not going to get any stronger. Same thing with education, right? If you do it for 2 days, you're not going to be a genius. Like, you're not going to see a lot of growth. But to me, it's the same thing where it's like, all right, if you know you want to be a bodybuilder next year, and you're already in the gym right now and you're seeing the results, why are you going to take a break and then come back to try and be a bodybuilder again? You should have committed because you want to be a bodybuilder. That's not going away. And that bodybuilding is education. You need to read and write. You need to do math and do all these things in the future. That's not going away. You're in a program. You see the program works well for you and your child responds to it. Why take them out of the program when those skills are going to come in handy eventually?
I wish, yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. No, because the same thing.
You're going to be a bodybuilder. You're not going to stop going to the gym now when next year you're going for Mr. Olympian or whatever they call it.
That ties into like when the kids ask. I had a kid ask me yesterday, "When am I ever going to use this?" I'm like, in high school. Like, but how's that going to help me do in life? I don't know. What are you going to be in life?
But we can't ignore the fact that you have to go through high school first.
Right, exactly.
You get to life.
See, you're going to need this. So why quit? This is putting you ahead, and it's going to be shocking when that parent comes in for the orientation.
Oh yeah,
and see how far back the progress they lost on all that progress.
Oh
right?
yeah,
and how much more committed they're going to be going forward, because you can't say a statement like, "Oh man, if I kept it in, they could have been reading or doing first grade math at this point," and now come back and then quit.
Yeah, no,
when it starts getting hard.
At that point, if they come back and quit, like if we talk about retention, different things, I'd have to like talk to them. Hey, man, like we did have a conversation. I'm letting her know that this is that moment again.
Right?
Are you gonna? It's all about choices. You make the choice and do that, or make the choice and do this.
Yeah, because then you lose. The kid gets older, right?
Yeah, we're losing time.
Using time. You can't stop, start. It's going to be hard to start them up again, right? The same thing with our tennis player back here, whose mom walked in here. You don't give him a break. Oh, I need to fix that. But we're going to give him a break over the summer. He was barely doing any work while he was, quote unquote, doing something, right?
Yeah.
Now you don't give him a break from doing nothing. And then what's going to be like when he comes back? Like, they might not.
The starting point's going to be garbage. I don't think they will.
I don't think they come back either, right? Because at this point, they weren't committed to it anyway. And it's just a matter of like, what are you showing your kids, right? Because you quit like that, they're not continuing to grow and move forward and understand commitment. Like, I'm just worried about like future generations with some of these people, man. It's just like, why quit? I don't get it. I just don't understand the mindset of it's summer. I want to give them a break. They're not doing anything the whole summer. They don't go to school.
No.
They don't have after school programs. This is an hour a day. They could get up at 8:00 and be done by 9 and have the rest of the day to do nothing.
Yeah. No,
so what's a break
still
for?
a whole day to veg out.
Right.
And it's funny because like with the tennis player, for example, and I feel like of course we see it with other families too. It's not just the lack of commitment and showing them it's okay to quit, but I think we've also seen with that case directly, they've already relinquished control to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's like a whole second, like that's like a double, like that's a whole double problem there. Because we get not only, all right, you can quit, go ahead, but also we're quitting because you told us you were, not because we even said, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
If mom was like, hey, I don't believe in this, all right, you raised a quitter, but you're still at the reins deciding when he quits. You're letting him quit on his terms. So it's kind of like, all right, cool. You just gave the keys to the asylum to the inmates?
Yeah. The inmates are running the asylum, but then you counter that with the kid that's leaving on the 15th, right? Has no idea.
Oh yeah. He doesn't even know he's gone.
He has no idea. So he just shows up. We talked about it before. That's the way you do it. You don't, because tennis player, he knew before his mom told me that they're going to quit. Why would he know that?
Yeah, he doesn't need to, but two, then you see that lack of effort, and we're wondering, why is this? Then we find, okay.
Right, yeah, I'm asking like, yo, why does your mom want to meet with me? Oh, well, I'm taking a break in the summer. Why do you know that before I do?
Yeah,
like
for real.
Your mom should come tell me that. But again, that's the prisoners running the asylum, right? The crazy people running the asylum. Like, you make the decision with him to quit, right? When he showed no commitment to doing the work that was you tell him to quit from. So basically, he has no what's the word? He's not a person of his word, right?
Oh yeah, he has no integrity.
No, that's the word I'm looking for, right? Because I asked him the other day because he was just sitting there zoned out, and I'm just looking at him like, "Hey man, do you do this on the tennis court?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No." I'm like, "Could you take that same focus on the tennis court and apply it to the work you're doing here?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, "Well, tennis is fun. This is not fun." I'm like, "Yeah, tennis is fun because you're freaking 10."
Yeah,
you're right. We turned 13 and some kids hit puberty and you don't hit puberty yet, and they whooping they wiping the floor with you.
Yeah,
starts being fun because then you got to put in extra work. Now you got to actually put in work.
Yeah,
right.
It's not gonna be fun, and you're gonna start doing this there.
Right, exactly. And then you're gonna quit that, right? Because you have not established the habit of just continuing to do something.
And what that means is no matter what, and not saying it's 100%, but what happens when you get that formula, usually what tends to happen is you then become a C player wherever you go. Like that Steve Jobs when we were talking about, the B players discredit the A players.
Right.
If you don't have integrity anywhere, because that will follow, you're going to be a C player.
Right.
You're going to be in a world where people are dominating in whatever industry you're in, whatever you're doing.
And
you will not have a competitive edge to you.
And you will not know what it's like to dig deep.
No.
And pull something out of yourself to be like, all right, yeah, I'm getting the floor wiped with me. I remember back in when I was 10 years old and I didn't want to do the work. I just did it anyway, just to get through it. That is what, besides the educational piece of what we're doing here, that's what we're trying to do as well. Give you those little life habits, man.
Yeah,
like
building character.
Build your character, right? You got to do stuff you don't want to do. That's just called life.
I
was watching a podcast today, and the guy was just like, life is about struggle, right? Life is struggle. Life is turmoil. Like, it's just, when you're a kid, your parents control your environment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? But going back to the whole quitting again, they control your environment, but they don't set you up to live in the real world. When you get in the real world where nobody cares, right? Then you have kids that are like, I don't know what to do. They have nothing to draw from and say, okay, I had to do this when I didn't want to and complete it, right? They don't have that kind of stuff. So It's just terrifying. Because again, it goes back to a whole example yesterday with that girl asking us to hire her brother that used to
Oh, yeah.
here, right? I'm not hiring that kid. He never did any work while he was
True.
here. Those are your interviews, right?
Yeah.
Right? It might seem trivial to be looking at a kid like that, but I'm just like, sir, when you were here, you're defiant. You didn't complete your work. Why would I hire you? I don't understand why.
No, there was no commitment. There was
no follow up.
Sometimes really felt like a lack of respect.
Right. So why would
like, with that defiance? Like it really like sometimes it was really like allowed. It wasn't like a quiet like our buddy who's taking off on the 15th. That was more a quiet defiance.
Right.
That was that was his own thing. But at the same time, as annoying as it wasn't the same.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was.
Like we still compare that to one student as far as how loud he was and how outgoing with.
We compared to other kids in here, like,
Yeah.
oh, he's similar. Oh, that new kid's not similar to that kid, right? Because the whine and the complaining,
He left a strong impression,
right?
A strong impression.
And it might you might be like, why you judging a kid like that? And not to say he's not going to grow out of that, but at this point, and this again goes back to his environment's getting controlled by his parents. So that's to me, that's coming from his parents, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Not controlling that environment, right? Because there's no reason for him. Did she ask you? Did she tell you that he wants to work?
Yeah,
here?
no. She came up to me, and that's why I also found interesting, and I didn't want to comment on it with her. But we know she's not very social.
Right.
And when she is social, she's very awkward. No eye contact, no nothing. All that was gone for a moment, which was very interesting. She was smiling. She seemed happy.
Confident.
She was looking. So that's why part of me was like, "You really love your brother. That's so cool. That's cool." But no, like that's awesome. You're going to bat for him, but I'm sorry, you went to bat for the wrong one.
He knows the number. He knows where we are. He can walk in here and be like, "Hey, I like a job. Let's talk about it." Because here's the thing: there's a difference between when you're here and not doing your work. That's your parents' money you're wasting, right? You come in here and not doing your work. That's my money. We're not. That's not.
No, exactly.
Not the same thing, right? Your parents love you and they're trying to build set you up for success in the future. You just work here.
Yeah.
Like I need the work done.
And we've also, this isn't the first time we had a student come in to work.
Right. And
that did not leave a good impression.
And I'm trying not to
hold that against them.
hold that against them, right?
Well, not for this new person,
people.
no.
Yeah, the future
not
people.
For future, yeah.
Yeah, not for the future. I'm not trying to use that as a
no, but I'd even say if we do sit down and talk with our friend who's potentially looking, at that point, we could even like that really could be a dialogue that's had where it's like, hey man, I'm not gonna outgoingly like say yes immediately, but come sit down and talk to me. Let me hear you out. I'm explaining to you why I have my concerns.
Right. And that's the same thing. Remember I talked about the one that's coming on Tuesday, I think.
Oh, next week, yeah.
Next week, right? When I asked Mom, hey, can they come by for a quick little chit chat? She's like, why you wanna interview them? It's like, because there's a difference between them as a student working, coming here to do work,
classwork, and working as an employee.
Working here for payment, right?
Yeah,
those are not the same. Not the same dynamic, right? Relationship we have when you're a student is not going to be the same relationship we have as
they're wasting
as
your money. Now they're wasting mine.
They're wasting my money and
I see why you don't care.
Right? Thank you.
You don't care. It's my money.
Right. So that's not how this is going to work, right? But even that one is coming on Tuesday. The commitment was. In the beginning, commitment was up there, right? We got to the higher levels, got to middle school, high school, kind of dropped off a little bit. But I saw the commitment before that. The other kid with the sister that asked, I never saw any commitment.
No, remember, he was the first one because there was a couple of them, but he was the first one I saw. I'm like, man, like when I got here originally 3 years ago, I was like, oh, this kid's a little stagnant, like already. And it stayed that way till he left.
Till he left. And it was... He's been gone over, so school years almost.
Yeah, so he was because going back off where he was like GH
F. When he transferred in at G. I had to put him back in F because he was struggling in G.
He was at F when I got here, right, and that was for a bit,
right.
And then G for a while, and I want to say H,
and then
I
for a while. Yeah, he got the J.
Holy crap.
He got the J.
He did. Okay.
Yeah, he got the J.
So I was thinking about that, but I was thinking that's some because we have a couple others that have been in there. But so exactly. But that was a slow boat.
But then it goes back again. That's how I tie everything comes back together, right? It's the commitment piece. He would have been done years ago. He just sat down and just going through everything. He was in these levels way longer than he needed to be. Why? Because he could not commit to it and just do the work.
Commit to it, and also those 3-3-4s.
Right. And then you want to tell me I should hire you? Nah, I'm good on that.
No, it's a tough one. It is a tough one.
I'm good on that, dude. I'm good on that. But to their credit, they never quit in the summer because he was here the whole 3 years you were here,
Mhm.
right? Never quit in the summer, when probably never showed up too much in the summer either. So
No, yeah, he was definitely sporadic with it because
Right.
I definitely remember back when he was a student getting phone calls like, "Hey, we put my work out."
right,
That's always made it funny too. He was old enough. Mom would have him call.
right.
I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like, "Hey, can you put my workout for me?" Like, "You got it, man. You good."
But
You
then
good.
put a workout, never did it.
Oh yeah, no. Sometimes
So
I
just
picked
like-
it up, so we'll see.
Oh my god. Yeah, no.
But that's like the big thing, and it's like what I was gonna say earlier before we start this up
Mhm.
is to play devil's advocate for people that want to take a break, for people who are debating. You don't have to stop cold turkey to take a break. You could do a little bit of the work because at the end of the day, and I hate to enable this behavior, but we already get treated like we're the help. We already get that. They
Uh-huh.
already because for example, one thing. If you're going to pull your kid out and don't tell us, like if you're going to make a medical decision, don't you consult your doctor, your
Right.
physician?
Mhm.
Not to say I get it's a little bit different, but
Mhm.
still you would think some of them would consult us because we're not just babysitting. We do have big specialties and expertise in this. So you'd think they would consult us with some of this, and they don't. But it's interesting because the commitment piece and wanting to take a break, if you just do a little bit less of the work,
Still do the work.
yeah, still do some of it. Yeah, still do some of it. But
Mhm.
if you want a break, and I'm telling you, hey, don't take a break because one, you're gonna lose a lot of progress.
Mhm.
Two, you might not restart. Just kind of take it easy for a bit, you know.
Mhm.
Like we got the one that's taking off. What was
Mhm.
it, the end of the month, on 25th?
Mhm.
And I was like, hey, you don't need to take a pause and lose all this. We're doing great. 2 years ahead, pretty much.
Right.
Just go ahead and do a
Slow
little
it
bit of
down.
Just slow down. Because here's the thing, I don't know why they're scared of that either. Because they don't mind like not doing when their kids don't
Right.
do the work. They don't act like we're going to be bummed out or
Right.
we're like, hey, well,
Why are you not doing the work?
yeah, they don't care about our opinion
No.
on that. So it's like,
No.
hey, just go ahead and
Just do
keep
less.
them in for your kids' sake.
Mhm.
Do some of the work, and you're not going to care if that bothers us anyways. You're good.
It goes back to like what you said. The
Does that
gym.
make sense though?
Yeah, no, that makes sense because I'm gonna tie to the gym analogy you made before, right? It's just like you want to be a bodybuilder next year. You don't feel like it. Sometimes you just show up and just maybe you don't lift as much,
Yeah.
or you master the ability of just showing up. I think
Oh yeah.
we
No,
talked
we've
about
talked
it before.
about
It's
that.
just like trying to go to the gym. It's like, all right, you want to get in better shape, but you hate the gym. How about just show up? Just one day, just walk in there for 2 minutes, walk out. Don't pick any weights up. The next day, you just go walk in, pick up a 5-pounder, right?
Yeah. Throw it around for a minute.
Just master the habit of just going in and do a little bit,
Mhm.
right? And before you know it, now you're just become a gym person.
Yeah.
But now you're a gym person. Why do you want to go back the other way?
You know what that was like when
Right.
you were
To
flabby
start,
or whatever,
right.
you know?
And that's the thing. I don't think, like you said, the whole consulting us on the decisions, right? I don't think some of these parents understand the level of regression that happens
Oh,
when you
no.
stop. That's with anything. Again, we always talk about the gym. We compare what we do.
Well,
But
the
it's the
great
same
analogies
thing.
we made.
It is because it's the level of regression that happens when you stop is a lot worse than if you just did a little bit, right, and then just got back into it, right? It's easy to get back into it, but that regression, and then because of what we do, and if the kid's like a year or 2 years ahead on grade level when they think about leaving, when they get to the next grade, it's going to seem like, oh, they're fine, right? Because now they're back in school. They're still ahead of the school's curriculum,
But they're not really
behind us.
climbing it like that anymore.
right? Behind us, they're like, oh no, so I guess us taking a break was fine. And all of a sudden, you look up and you're like, oh, wait a minute, now we're falling behind again.
Yeah, now we're
What
in 6th
happened?
grade and it hurts.
Right? What happened? Like, yeah, because you never kept going. It doesn't stop. Like you can't. It doesn't just like, all right, well, we did it for a year and a half. Now we're good. Like, no, finish it all the way out. If the further you get ahead,
More time you have.
the more time you have, the more runway you give yourself to make mistakes, right? To not fall behind. But a lot of these parents
They don't see
don't
that.
get it, and I still don't understand how. Because I ask some of these kids all the time, "What do you want to be in life?" Like for me, I knew education was going to be my way
Yeah.
out, right? I know I wanted to do something and be something. And a lot of these kids just seem like they don't have any kind of vision of what they want to
No.
be. Because if this opportunity was given to me when I was their age, I would have ate this up.
Oh yeah, no, you have crushed it.
I would have ate this up, right? Because then it give me an opportunity to do what I want to do when I'm down the road.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids are just like, I don't see the motivation for him.
No. And it's also interesting because I feel like we're in a unique position. I feel like I've done the same thing. I've jumped on it. And especially, and it's easy for me to say that too because I like math and reading. Science never really interested me as much. History was okay, but you find in the stories. But like, we have the more interesting ones. I don't think any kid in here wants to learn about a nucleus or nuclei or anything like that. Mitochondria, cell. No one here seems interested in that. No one here can tell us when the War of 1812 happened. But reading can be fun. There's some interesting stories. I find some of the stories when we're working in class. I'm like, oh man, I kind of wonder.
That's one. Yeah.
What's up with Sadako at the hospital? What's going,
right, exactly.
You know that one, but like, so yeah. But it's like, so they're like, to me, it is fun. It's like math was always fun to do. It's like, cool, I get better addition. I go to subtraction, then multiplication, division, fractions. Like, you had to keep doing that. And like, to me, that is fun. Because I remember being in school and doing stuff like, man, like, I've got this covered, teach. When can we do something else? Like,
give me something. Give me something.
Like, seriously. And I had teachers that had to do that with me sometimes. Because I'm sitting like, hey, man, like, this fractions is cool, but like, these bottom numbers aren't changing. And I got it. I'm adding it. This is addition still.
What are we doing?
Give me something else. So, like, but that's the thing where it's like, I've jumped on this too, and like, I feel like a lot of kids don't get that.
No, they don't. It's just like, was it? I'm gonna probably butcher this. But it's like weak times create strong people. Strong people create weak times.
Easy times.
Easy times create weak people.
Yeah.
Weak people create bad times.
Exactly.
Right. I think that's where we're in right now. A lot of these kids don't understand the struggle of life, right?
Oh, no.
They seem so removed from it, right? When I was a kid, I could tell by, it sounds bad, but I could tell by my parents, like, life was not easy, right?
Yeah.
So I knew I had to do more to get more, right? I didn't have the latest. Some of these kids walking here, there was one kid, Mr. Spider-Man here, he on some app bidding for Jordans. I'm like, what is happening? Like he's like, yeah, I'm getting that for the school. He's like, I'm getting that for the school for next school year. I'm just like, man, I had to wait till the school year the week before school started to even thinking about getting new clothes, right?
Yeah, you're kidding me? Yeah, no, it was the end of the summer. Like, you get a couple pairs of pants, you get a pair of shoes.
And this kid, school ain't even end yet, and he's already talking about him trying to get new shoes already. I'm just like, so the access, the ease at which they could do that stuff. For me, I'm just like, yo, mom says she ain't got no money. I'm like, okay, so money's important. Okay, how you get more money? Oh, you need a job. To get a good paying job, you need get education.
You reverse engineered it to figure out where to get it.
I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna need money because I want to do that. These kids I don't see it in these kids at all. Like it's just like mind over matter. I wouldn't be able to tell my parents. My parents, I'd have to tell my parents, no, keep me in there for the summer. Like keep it going because I want to get ahead. You mean I could just keep going?
I'm trying to retire you guys at some point. Let's make me smart.
Right.
Come on.
We just keep going. Like this is, I don't know, man. These kids and these parents, the whole quitting and starting over, quitting. It's mind blowing.
Oh no, it is, and I feel like they don't get also like when you're nurturing kids, like they're like I use this analogy, watering seeds. Because it's like when you see behaviors, you see the bad behaviors are like weeds you got to pull out. Then the good behaviors like these seeds you got to water. Like for me, one of mine was reading, and for some of these kids, you see like, hey man, like y'all got to water the good seeds and make sure you like get rid of those bad ones. And like I feel like they don't pay attention to that. This kid's like a garden you got to take care of. Right. And it sounds silly, but it really is how it is. Because if you don't eliminate these bad behaviors, they grow, and they just grow like quitting,
right?
Like letting
not fighting through,
not fighting through things. No.
Like it does fester, and then it turns into weak people, right?
And that's why like, you'll see sometimes. I know you've seen it with me. Like when I see a student that reads, and I obviously take an interest, I converse about it all day. So I'm like, doesn't mean they're gonna be a scholar, but I also feel like if they're at home reading books, it's a lot harder for them to mess things up for themselves. So I'm like, hey, like, you may not be crushing them. And usually the ones are doing okay. We got the one that's leaving that wasn't doing as great with the math. But, like, for the most part, when I see a student reading, it's like, all right, you're usually about your stuff, or you at least keep yourself above water. Let me make sure you know how good that is, you know? But water that seed to a degree.
I always say, like, you want to keep somebody from knowing something, put it in a book, right? So you see people reading. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I always try to converse and highlight that when I see that and say, oh, what book are we reading now? Are you on book 7 now? Right. Or whatever. I'm like, no, I want them to, oh, cool, you know, the engagement with that and to see that is something that is cool.
Right. So, yeah. No, that makes sense. Because then that nurturing that, and I think the parents maybe they just don't see this as nurturing their kids, right?
I don't think they look at the big picture. I don't think they look at that analogy. I don't think the analogy holds weight with them, or they have any space in their mind on that. Because like I don't think so. I don't know. I've learned from being around my peers, and I get as you get older, things change. Talking to my peers, a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people don't
think about what way,
like the philosophical watering the seeds, the behavior. A lot of people don't. Like they think of on the surface level. Oh, like I don't want you to steal from my purse, Timmy, because that's dishonest. But they don't think about the actual seeds and what that is going to grow into later. That's what I think they're missing, and that's why we have so many kids that are allowed to quit, because I don't think the parents realize what that weed growing in that garden is going to do to the whole garden.
No, it ruins it.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I mean. I don't think they think about it that way.
I don't think
they see it on the surface level. Hey, don't do this because it's immediately. They see the short term effect. They're not seeing the long term effect that's happening. That's like.
But how do we fix that though? Because it's just like it's not up to us to fix, but like, how do we get the kids or the parents just to see that, right? Because even Mr. Spider-Man there, just a little talk we had with him.
It seems to work.
Seems to be working, right? It's not 100%, but it's getting a little better, right?
It's better, certainly. And I've tried to take note of that from you, honestly, because I noticed sometimes I've seen you will be a little more open or honest with the families and with the students a little more, where I'm like, oh man, like, can I say that kind of? Like, it's like, just like, hey man, like, hey, I'm sorry, Cindy, but your kid hasn't brought in work in 3 months. I'm letting her know they're probably going to get held back in the school year. Like, you need to take this. Something like that, where it's like, hey, like, there is something to be said. We're at first doing this, and like even my job before, it was a preschool teacher. It's a little nerve-wracking what you say to the families and how you say it, because you never know how they're going to respond. And once you say something to someone, no matter what your intentions were, it's now cut in their mind with their past experiences in childhood. It's like how we said yesterday. I've had people say stuff that I didn't like, but I had to check my ego.
Yeah, check your ego at the door, right?
So I know I got to do that, and I'm still working on it. But it's hard to also expect that of the parents. So to go tell them, oh, Timmy's going to get held back, and y'all need to listen to me. They may spat in your face over it, or they might listen.
But here's the end of, like, to that point, right? Like we talked about the last time, about our origin story, right? I get into this because I'm trying to help the kids, right? I'm trying to help them as best I can to make sure they get what they need, because I know, and life's not easy, right? And you got to put yourself in the best position to succeed. So you sitting here fighting, just doing simple stuff like work, like, it's half an hour a day. It's not. That is nothing. You waste more time driving here.
Oh yeah,
right? It takes to get that, right? So for me, being honest with these parents, I'm just saying, listen, this is not somebody. One of the YouTube things I watch, the guy says, hopefully the parents can tell. What he says is like, People trust him because people can tell that he's obsessed over their problems more than they are, right? So I hope these parents can understand and see the passion in us to say, I care about your kids' education more than you do. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm trying to help your kid.
That's why I'm
passionate. Right. That's why I'm passionate about it, right? Because I know how I felt in school, being a kid that, like you just mentioned, right? You're like, teach. I got these fractions. Like, give me something else.
Yeah.
I know the pride I felt being that kid, like, yo, meaning to tell I'm the only one to get it. Give me more. Give me something else. Let me see what else I could do. Right? That was me. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to get some of these kids to think that way. Just like, dude, you could be great at this. Like, why don't you want to be great at it? Like, I don't get it. Like, put a little effort into it. You could be great, but they don't want to. So
no, and I feel like right now, like going back to the hard times and easy times analogy, I feel like with a lot of these parents, the way I see them stroll in, the way they drive, what they drive, and like how they come in, their personality. They're the weak people that were made from the parents that made the easy times. So like right now we have this. So we have the weak people. We don't see it like they're all joyful and gleeful, but they're making the hard times right now.
They're making weak people.
They're making the weak people.
That's going to create hard times.
Those hard times. They're doing that right now. I'm kind of seeing that unfold when I see some of these parents. I'm like, oh, they're all finger guns. And hey, how's it going, Mr. Jesse? And I see their kid like breaking under pressure. I'm like, oh no, I'm watching that analogy unfold.
Oh, it is, because the dude that walked in with his uniform yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Every week he comes in with it's a new ID, because his kid keeps, I don't know what his kid's doing to the iPad, but every week's a new ID. How about you just fix it? Tell me you do that one more time. Me and you in the backyard in a minute. Like, I'm not sitting here writing new codes every week. I'm not doing that. But again, he's creating. So now you think that little kid's gonna know any consequences? No, because the iPad was already open.
One, he got it open. 2, I think I told you, but that kid told me he's lazy because I'm like, hey man, like I need to do this. Yeah, but I'm lazy. And then
Where do you think it comes from?
Oh yeah,
Right.
Where do you learn the word lazy from?
Right. So
you're not born with that word in your
Right.
vocabulary.
Right.
No, you heard them say it about someone, and now you know it's applicable to you.
Or about you.
Yeah, more than
and now you've internalized
Oh
it.
yeah. No, I just want to give them the benefit, but at
Right.
the same time, probably,
Mhm.
because I also explained to the parents like, hey, like doing the work, he's leaving me a note saying I don't know how to spell this. The word's on the same page. Like you're supposed to write the word right here. Right here's where the word is, and like right next to the word, pretty much where he wrote, I don't know how to spell it.
Yeah,
and they even like not checked me, but they were like, "Wait, so you mean like on a different?" I'm like, "No, on the same page." Like I'm telling like, no, this kid like it's laziness. Like there was no. If it was 4 pages back, I'd kind of get it. Not really, but kind of.
Because you had to read it.
You had to go look for it. And stuff.
You had to read it to get to this point, right? To get to the 5th page because it's 4 pages back, right? Yep.
But at this point, you're telling me the word's on the page and you can't spell it. Like no,
I
got nothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something I can teach you.
No,
that's just you having to do the work.
That tells me 2 things. Tells me 2 things. You didn't read the. No, you didn't read it. You just went to the thing and like I don't know how to spell it. If you read it, the words up there. You got kids that
to read it. You gotta have the letters.
Thank you. So and it's not a reading ability, right? It's just you just gotta try.
Yeah, no,
like, a lot of things just comes down to just doing it. Right, just do it.
That's another thing. And I would have been way more sympathetic if I looked at it and he just butchered a spelling rather than like he didn't take the time to write it. He just wrote, "I don't know how to spell it." Like, how do you know what word it is then?
Right. Thank you. How you know what word it is? Yeah, just.
Oh, no, but that's a thing though. So no,
so annoying.
It's just like annoying. They got to commit and they got to not make these easy times for their kids and then make their kids
right. Again,
like you said, that's easy times when you got a kid in the classroom bidding on Jordans.
Right.
I'm sorry. Who in their right mind is letting a kid
bid on Jordans?
Yeah, bid on anything. Right. Like no,
he ain't got no money. So whose money using to bid on this?
And where'd you tell him to cap out at if it goes up? And how do you know he's going to do that? And you're not going to end up paying $4,000 for some $300, $400, $500 Jordans.
Because he already committed that he's like, yeah, that's what I'm getting for next school year. I'm just like,
how high you better go, dude? Are we about to be behind on the mortgage? Like, what's going on?
like exactly.
Like, what's going on? Because I don't like this.
Yeah, you had to look in. I know you know about like the East Bay magazine back in the day, the magazine with like sneakers in it, right?
Okay, nah.
That's how we know the latest sneakers coming out. East Bay, East Boy, something. Anyway, don't matter. That's what we're looking forward to the end of the summer to be like, all right, I'm gonna get this one, this one, this one. You might not get it. That's what you want. Your parents are like, nah.
We'll see.
Right, we'll see, right? This dude's actually bidding on it.
He's putting the money down.
Putting the money down for it. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, that
must be nice.
You see that in movies. I've never heard of that in real life. You see that in movies, and it's like, oh no, like no. Then you got the goofy sitcom dad, like, oh no, how do I explain this to the wife?
Right.
And you're really doing it, like
yeah. Make sure ask him about it on next week.
Oh my God, I'm asking if you got them. Yeah. How much they cost?
How much they cost them?
How much it cost you?
Right.
Yeah,
we got that. We got that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, just if somebody could just explain to me. I'm sure Jesse feels the same way. Why quit? Why stop in the summer? Why stop anything beyond finances? And you need the tuition to eat.
Yeah,
I don't see the reason to stop.
No, there's no reason to. Because at that point, you could do less, like we said before. You can just do less.
Just do less.
You're not gonna get if we come at 1, we don't come out huffing and puffing. Everyone knows that.
Right.
But if we did, you wouldn't care.
No, you wouldn't care. So just explain to me, because I don't get the whole quitting mindset. That it's just I don't know. Maybe these kids just like parents, everybody just like a little drive, man. Just a little drive. Just want it more than the next person.
No, true, because I feel like I do see it with some of the parents too. I need another parent to help me.
Right.
Like, no, you don't want it bad enough.
You don't want it bad enough. Fix it. Fix it. How about proud moments this week?
I'm trying to think. 'Cause I know we got a buddy who just got that
student of the month. Yeah.
That you hazed him over. That was terrible. But I don't know. There's a couple because he's doing pretty good. But like, here you go. Let me see what you got. I'm debating on a couple.
No, I wouldn't say proud. I was watching you yesterday with little Klepto was standing back there, right? At first you told him he was standing at the table
to sit down.
No, you told him to sit down, but I could watch your thought process change. Like, all right, just okay, you want to stand? Just just go stand and do the work, right? Because to me, that's what I'm trying to embody here, right? It's not trying to run a army facility here.
Yeah.
As long as the work gets done, I don't care. If you want to stand, sit, as long as you're not disrupting class, I just watch you do that with him, right? And just watch him, because as I do this more, I realize that people have different learning styles, right? So forcing him to sit when he don't want to,
it would have been hindering him.
It would have been hindering him. It would have been a whole fight, right? Mm-hmm. But just, all right, dude, you want to stand? Just stand over there. Don't bother nobody. Just do your work done. Now, draw the line somewhere. We got Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
People standing on top of the stools and stuff like that. We ain't a little much in the rocking and falling up. Like, we're not doing that. But to me, that's just cool to watch him. You operate with him, and this is the thought process of getting him just to do the work.
Yeah.
We're not gonna worry about you standing. Just don't. You ain't got to stand in the hole in the path. Okay, just stand by the table, get your work done, and move on with your life. Right.
Yeah.
That was just cool to watch that.
So. I want to point something out real quick, and I don't want to get emotional, but like I had a math teacher, and I pulled that directly from a teacher. Like,
okay.
So you saw it happen in the moment. Like, so what was going through my head was in 6th grade, I had a math teacher. It was like 6, 7, half of 6th grade, half of 7th math is advanced stuff. But the teacher was like an interesting teacher because she was authoritative, but she also knew exactly where to let it relax. And so one thing she did was she had her own clipboards that she had purchased. So she's like, hey, I got a lot of advanced kids. Some of y'all are ADD, some of y'all are this, some of y'all are that. It's cool. She's like, I will work with you. You work with me. She's like, you want to stand up, you feel better, like you can focus more standing up and letting out a little energy. You take a clipboard, you take your work, and you stand in the back of the room.
Right.
She's like, then you can stand and kind of move your feet a little bit. She's like, but you're not in front of us catching the visual.
Right. And you're not disturbing everybody else.
You're not disturbing. But if I see you're not working and like there are 4 of y'all back there just giggling, oh no, we're not doing that,
right?
But so
give
give
you enough rope to hang yourself.
Exactly.
Right? I'm gonna give you this latitude, right? But let's see what you do with it.
Exactly. Right? And that's why I kind of in that moment I was like, hey, go sit down, man. And so as he went to, I was like, wait a minute, because he was like, oh, I think he said I don't want to or something going on. But I could see, I was like, all right. And I'm like, in that moment, I'm thinking that's what she would have done. She'd be like, yo, just stand within reason, stand behind your table. I don't want you pacing up and down now. That's too much. But stand behind your table and you're good. And it worked. And so that's why that's why I love working with kids. I love being in education because I really do like what do you call it? It's like a Goku with a spirit bomb. I like calling everyone's power. I think of past experiences and I've seen past teachers how they do it, and I try to pull that out a little bit.
Yeah, because it makes a difference, right? Like I think we talked about before. It's just the kids are not going to like doing the work. They're kids. They're not going unless they're getting quote unquote forced to do this, right?
Yeah.
Right. There's a rare kid that sees it and wants to come in here and do it at home, but they should take advantage while they're in here. But we're not trying to make it on easy for them, like, hey, sit down, shut up, don't talk,
definitely not.
Get the work done. Like, no, listen, we can have fun, but I guess as long as the work's getting done, we're good.
Yeah,
work's not getting done, you and I got a problem.
Yeah, at that point, you do got to sit down quiet.
You got to sit down, shut down, be quiet.
Yeah,
I gave you the latitude, you went too far.
Exactly.
So now we got balance here. Let's figure it out. So. Anything else you want to add?
Honestly, I was thinking that not even about our buddy who's student of the month, really, the middle child. Like, I feel like the middle child. So, because I've been talking to Ren and some of the graders, and they feel like he's doing good. Mm-hmm. They said the homework's iffy. I have to go check to see, actually, because I don't know if it is iffy. I'll check. But, like, no, he's been doing good in class. Yesterday was his second day. He got a perfect score. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, did he go back a little bit? Yeah, but still. Even and we've seen it with kids all the time where we're like, oh, missing 2 or 3 things, that says nothing about your mastery. That's an easy mistake. So even with something he's done a few times, the fact he went through and got it all right, that tells me not only is he grasping it, but there's a seriousness about him now.
But I think also, when I gave his brother the student of the month, that was also my thought process too. Let's see how it affects him, right? And he had seen his brother get it. He's like, okay, so now it's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, I was talking to Ren about that too, because then when we talked about giving it to the kid next month,
right?
The other one of the little trio or whatever we call the friend group, Ren said the same thing about that. She said if you give it to him, I think middle child will really pick up because she's like now, everyone, that's a little Three Musketeers kind of
right. So they're always asking about it, like who he gets. So now it's a reality for him, right?
Well, I told you, they both pulled me aside like 6 months ago, and like, hey, like, what do you got to do to get that? Like, how's that? I'm like, hey, man. You've been playing around, but you do your work and you could. And now they see one of them's got it. The second one's
going to get it. And the third one, and he might be the next one. So we'll see. How it goes.
He's got his marching orders at this point.
He does. And he knows it's possible, right?
Yeah.
Before that, it was a pipe dream. Like, student month. I don't know these kids up
we
here.
Don't get it. It's not for us.
Right.
He sits in his little clique.
Right. And then all of a sudden, and that's the thing we got to do better too, is keep going, right?
Yeah.
Because at some point we stop.
Yeah.
Like, and then you got months up there with no pictures up there.
Yeah.
We're like, oh crap, we gotta go back to doing that.
I was thinking about that too, as far as what would be, because I try to, we're doing the order, what week in the month. I try to loosely organize that, so I already know going into the month. So we got to kind of like that last week of the month or something, like, hey, so who's it been so far this month? That way, as soon as that next one starts, we can hit it.
Right. Or yep.
That last week of the month, every last week, we got to kind of talk a little more
somebody,
about it.
right? Because it's twofold, right? You got when POs come in here. Mm-hmm. I've had so many times like, oh, I know that kid. It cuts,
that helps us.
It cuts down on the anxiety for the kid when he walks in here, right? So, but yeah, no, we'll see how that goes, right? Yeah, I am proud of him too. So, anything else?
No, I think that's it though. We got proud moments and just tell us why leaving's better than staying, because we don't see it that way.
Definitely don't. All right, see y'all.
Have a good one.
Bye.